Hi, my name's Tiffany and I'm here today from Barbershop and Emporium to cut Matt's hair, and we're doing a skin fade and a quiff using bearded Chap products. Alrighty, so today we're going to go in with a 1 to start the fade and take it quite high up for Matt, as he likes a high skin fade. At the back you tend to take it a little bit lower so you're not fading on the occipital bone to create a shadow. With fades it's really easy to create a shadow and give yourself a bit more of a hard line. So if you take it just above the occipital bone, you're not sitting there having to fade out your line. You just try and match both sides even. Alrighty. So secondly, I like to go in with a half then. I don't tend to create a line with my fades as I find it takes too much time to blend them out. With the half you pull the skin up from the head, and then that way you're pulling the clipper out and you're not creating a line between the half and the 1. And I'm just staying a little bit below where I went with my 1. Alrighty, and then I'm going to go in with my 0 and just take it just below where I've gone in with the half. Again, so I don't create a line. There may be a slight line between the 0 and the half, which you can fade out towards the end. My goal really is just to not create a line, because a lot of barbers go in and create a hard line and then you have to sit there and fade the haircut out. I find if you do it this way, you're not backtracking and going over the same thing twice. So then I'll come in with my little foilers to create the razor fade. So I will create a slight bit of a line between the foilers and the 0, and I will concentrate on fading that at the very end. So we'll pop the colour in now to give him a good grey blend, get rid of his greys. The thing I like about the grey blend is it doesn't grow out and you can tell the difference between the colour. It grows out translucent, so it's natural. So with our colour, you always pop it onto the roots first and brush it out so it gets from the roots to the ends evenly. And the combs just to make sure it evenly spreads through the whole hair, because you don't want to leave any little white bits out. You always remove the colour from the skin where there is no hair, because it can dye a little bit and he can end up a bit stained for a few days. And then people can tell he's had his hair dyed, and that's not what we want to achieve. Again, just try and squeeze it into the roots of his face, so as you brush it out it goes from root to end. Pop your hand there and catch any excess product that's going to drop through. Now just tidying up the edges so his skin doesn't end up stained when we finish. Pop up your neck for me, Matt. So for the top half, we don't really want to lose too much length, as he likes to wear it up to play with. So I'm just going to chip into the ends to take the dead ends off. So with Matt's fringe, as I'm getting closer, I'm over directing it backwards so that I can keep as much length through his fringe as possible. So I'm just pulling it slightly backwards and then cutting. So it graduates the haircut from being shorter to longer as it grows out, so his fringe can sit up more and wear it out. So as I'm just pulling it away a little bit from his face, and that's just to leave as much length as possible. And then I just want to grab the tips off at the very front just to make sure the haircut is all round even for where it went when it's worn up. So when I comb it round and flick it up, he should have a nice length that all blends in. Now with the sides, you want to cut his corners off to blend it. So your corners are from there to there, that goes like a triangle. And then I do the same on the other side with getting out the corners. So this will make it a lot easier when I come towards the sides to blend in. Now I've completely stayed away from the crown because he has a little bit of a funny crown that likes to stick up, and we don't want to give him an alfalfa. Now with his crown, you want to direct it in the way that it wants to sit, so you're not trying to change the way that it's trying to grow. So you get it in its little twirl, and then you pull it straight out and find the corner and take the corner off. And then you push it back to finding its natural position. So just on Matt's crown here, I'm just going to take a bit of the weight off. Just takes it from being so heavy around the base of the haircut. Heaviness can create a line in some shadows or lights. Alrighty, so now I've cut the sides and the top and cut the crown. I want to clipper over comb and take the rest off to blend it in with the skin fade. So with the clipper and over comb technique, I like to use two different combs based on for different lengths of the hair. The thicker comb will stop you from putting any holes into the hair as you're fading and blending. You just want to push it onto his scalp and pull out at the top so you're not digging in a hole. So you just want to blend in the haircut. It's easier than sitting and doing scissors over comb or blending in with your scissors, so using your comb will take off a lot more and be even. So once you've done the thicker comb, you go to your smaller comb, and how you know you're done with the thicker comb is when you come in and you can't take any more off their head from when you pull out the comb. Now this comb gets a lot deeper into the scalp. Again, you've got to pull it out from the head so you don't create a hole in his haircut, but it'll just be a lot easier to blend in the 0 to the half then. As you've taken as much as you can off with the comb, then you'll come back and use your clippers. I pop it to a 1.5 and brush down the hair with your fade brush to see where you need to go. Pull his scalp up and flick out. So you just follow the head on the scalp with that part of the blade, and you're flicking this top part out. Again, so you're not creating any holes in his haircut. And I'm trying to achieve just getting out of these lines and to blend the haircut in. And then once you've done that a few times and you've taken all the hair that you can off with that number, you go to your 1. Again, pull his head up and flick. And then I'll go to my half clipper number and I'll push that up between a 1/2 and a 1 and do the same thing. Now each time I'm slowly, gradually coming down shorter and shorter and only going so high, so we don't create any holes. And then you push it to the 1/2. I'll take that 1/2 off and use your clipper 1/2. And I'll push it to the 0. It's just about flicking the wrist to get the rest of that line out. So we're just going to fade in the other side now. So lastly, I like to face the client in the mirror and use your mirror to make sure there's no line. I think it's important for every barber to do this because every shop's lighting is different. So by using your mirror and looking in, you can tell exactly where you need to go and see if there's any lines in there. For example, you can see there's a little bit of a hard line there. You just go in and see little bits that you identify that need to be done, so it's just a little bit thicker in there. So I just need to kind of flick the wrist and take that off. And as you twirl him, you'll just see little hard bits that you need to work on. So this little buzzy one just helps me blend out the foiler as the foiler gets to like a razor sharp. Now I like to always shape guys' edges in. It just looks cleaner and overall sharper with their haircut. You don't necessarily want to change someone's hairline, it's just about making it sharp and tidy. So for the beard today, we want to do something similar with the hair as it's faded up into the haircut. We're going to fade his beard out. So we'll start from a 0 and work our way to a 4. And that involves 0, half, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the number 4. The 4 will just give him an all-round tidy up. It's not too long on his face, but he still has a beard, and it's cooler for summer. With a beard, you want to go in every direction as it grows in every direction. No guy's beard is ever just straight down. And now I'm going to go in with the 3 just to graduate from the 4 up. From the beard down, I never tried to go into that. I'll always leave this part of 4 and work my way up from his mouth line. So I've popped down to the 1.5 now, just slowly working my way up to fade it into the 0. With Matt, I was able to skip the 2 as his beard nicely graduates itself. Always want to try and take off his little neck fluff because that from the front can make their beard look untidy. Then I'll finish with my half and I'll just do near his ears. Now when it comes to shaping the beard, it really depends on the client and what they want. So you tend to ask them, would you like it more rounded? Would you like it more square? And go on to what they like. Also tidying up around their neck and underneath. Matt, as you can see, has taken his a little bit far down, so we'll just try and bringing that up a bit further so he can grow that in. So the comb's just to keep a guide, so you're making sure it's a straight line. I tend to follow theirs up to this little part in the ear, but it really depends on the person. As you can see, Matt has a little bit of a gap here, so I want to take it just down a little bit lower, but not low enough where he's going to have a chin strap or anything. So as you can see, I'll gradually take it down. I won't just go in, just so that I can see what it looks like and if it suits him. Because you can never glue hair back on. As you can see, you're starting to get a nice sharper line. As you can see, I've leveled it up with the middle thing in his ear. You'll find everyone's head shape is different, so you always have to use your mirror at the end to make sure you've made it even. Now with his lip, as it's short and tidy and he doesn't want to eat it, I like to layer it for them. So I just come in and pull the comb out and take it off. Come in, pull the comb out, take it off. And each time you just lift the comb a little bit higher and pull it out, and that way you're just graduating it for him, and it gives him a little bit more time, whereas if you went straight across, within 3 or 4 days it's straight in his mouth again. And then you'll go through and create his nice clean lip line. You just follow the top of his lip line, and I always just take it just above, so it gives him a few extra days with the food not getting in it. On the corner, most guys' hairs grow into their mouth, so just try and angle your clipper. You have to be careful because you don't want to nip their lips, as that's quite sensitive skin. And then just come out on his little curls there and just make sure there's no long one. Make sure there's no long one. And then also do it on the chin here, where the clipper doesn't get in too close. Now we're going to go underneath his neck, so just undo the cape for him so he's able to breathe. And then just ask him to slightly tilt his neck up. Now every guy's shape of their beard is different. Matt has quite a thinner face and longer, so square can look quite sharp. If he doesn't want to look more as sharp, you go for more of a rounded look. He has more rounded on his cheeks, so I'm going to go a little bit rounded square, if that makes any sense. It really all just depends on the client, and I'm just kind of going to where he naturally likes it to sit. As you can see, there was already a bit of a line there. This part always grows a little bit funny, so do your scissor over comb and just take that off. It will grow out and sit a lot nicer for him. And then use your mirror to make sure you've done a nice straight line. Alrighty, so now I'm going to use the Bearded Chap beard oil. And I'm going to pop that around here to do my line up at the front and his razor fade at the bottom. Beard oil, you only need a few drops. A little bit goes a long way. And this one's actually flavoured a little bit sandalwoody. So you're just popping it all on his head and then on the hairline at the front. Alrighty, so you're just going to come in with your cutthroat. I always have mine popped out a little bit. I find it gets more of the hair and a cleaner shave. And you always just pull the skin nice and tight just to follow where you want to go. You never want to dig into the person's head because digging creates pain and holes. Bigger long strokes are good when you're going down the back, so just pulling the head tight and following it down in one long stroke. That way you're not scratching at the client, taking off layers of skin every time. When you come close to little bumps, you just go over them. Now I'm just going to come back the opposite way. Coming upwards just gives it a little bit more of a cleaner cutthroat. And again, I'm just going to come up to give it a nice cleaner shave. And now you've got your hot towel to finish off with, scented with a bit of lemongrass. You just go up, around. It's a little bit of a massage at the end. Then we're going to get into the styling. So I'm going to start with the beard. And firstly, I'm going to use the beard oil again. Reason being, as he's just had his beard shaved, it can end up quite itchy and irritated in a few days. And he can also get dry, flaky skin underneath. So just popping this of the night before he goes to sleep will just help soak it in over night time, moisturise his skin, and help any ingrown hairs that come through. Making sure you're actually massaging it onto the skin, not just the beard. As you can see, I'm getting quite in there with my fingers, so it's actually reaching his skin, so as it grows out, it stays nice and moisturised and doesn't end up with ingrown hairs. And then secondly, we use a bit of beard balm, and then you just use a little bit on your nail and warm it up on your hands. You need to warm it up as it has a little bit of a hold in there for a styling agent to keep the hairs in place, but will also moisturise his skin. And I just tend to brush down. Obviously, you can even use the excess that you've got on his face, and that's just purely to moisturise his skin. It has rosehip oil and hemp seed oil, which are great for your skin. And then lastly, we'll finish up with our pomade. Again, you just scoop out a bit on your nail and work it in your hands to warm up. Warm it up so you can't see anything, and pretty much just put it everywhere. So your pomades are more of your shine and your cleaner kind of look, and then your matte's kind of your messy but textured, like you've just kind of gotten out of the beach type of look. Today I'm making Matt's a little bit more neater, so that's why we've got the pomade, but usually he loves using the matte clay. So with Matt's hair, you just push it all forward, and you want to pull the fringe up. If you want a bit more volume, which I like to do a neater version, you use a comb, and then you can just go through and just put a bit of texturizer in there with your fingers, and that just bounces up his fringe that bit more. There we go. Freshly styled with Bearded Chap products.
Wow, it's a different person.
I told you you'd look different, hey?